Sharyland High School main gym. And we thank you again for joining us here for our coverage of the quarterfinals of this Sharyland tournament. This one features PSJA taking on Brownsville Rivera. Diving play by the Raiders, by the Bears. And Rivera out to the 2-0 lead to start this ball game. Spike across by the Lady Bears. Lady Bears ran the table throughout pool play in the first 2 days. Rivera was beaten by Brownsville veterans. That was it in 2 days play. Spike across, that is down and in for a kill for the Lady Bears. I had my rosters. Now a 2-2 game as PSJA has tied it up. Lady Bears to serve it up. Across by Katia Cavazos. That's an ace. PSJA goes up at 3-2. This Bear team, we saw them tested last night in action. But they've been a resilient bunch in the way they've played in their games. Another point scored for the Lady Bears. Brownsville Rivera, we've seen them in action several times in our tournament coverage. A pesky bunch that will keep the ball in play and a young bunch that keeps getting better each time out. The winner of this will take on the Mackay Lady Bulldogs, who advanced with a win earlier today over Brownsville veterans. We're waiting now for the next serve. And away we go. Bears serve it over. That is no ace. No indicator that the serve was ready to be played out. Again, you're dealing with fans walking in front of those servers. And so from a server perspective, which in this case is Katia Cavazos, she's like, finally, no one's in my way. I'm going to serve. This one is a missed serve. And we've seen that affect some servers over the past 2 days. It's one thing to split these courts to allow more games to be played. But then when you've got fans walking back and forth and it's a limited service approach anyway, it will play into the mind of the server. Spike across by the Lady Bears, down by Victoria Fuentes. And that makes it a 5-3 game, PSJA on top. Jermaine Campos back at the line. She'll serve it up. Short serve. Spiked over, and that is out of bounds. 5-4 the score. Five-4 game. Serve over, played by the Bears. High set off the net, spiked across. And now a 6-4 game, PSJA on top. Lady Bears back to serve. Victoria Fuentes at the service line. She'll get that across, and that's in the net. Points scored for Rivera, 6-5 game. On our other court, we've got Los Fresnos taking on Sharyland in the quarterfinals. And then after these two games are concluded, we'll get into the semis. And they'll keep this floor split for those two games. Then they'll take the nets down and put up the big net across the middle here for the eventual championship game. Guajardo back to serve for the Lady Bears. Short serve played by the Raiders of Rivera. Across that block, covered on the back row by Villarreal. Villarreal becomes the hitter. Played on the back row for the Raiders. Set it on the right side. Spiked across by Kimberly Chavez. That's a point scored for Brownsville Rivera. And a 7-6 game as she played that off the block. Championship game is set to be played at 2 o'clock. Right now, I'm telling you, we are not on schedule for a 2 o'clock start. My wife told me when I told her, hey, it's a 2 o'clock start, it'll be an early day. She said, 4 o'clock. I'm going to call it now. 4 o'clock, championship game starts. Well, we're right on target for a 4 o'clock start for the championship game. So she got her wish. Spike across by the Bears is good. 8-6 game, PSJA on top. And the earlier coverage, Mac High rolled over Brownsville Veteran in the first game of their set. And then in game 2, had to come from behind from a 7-point deficit. Brownsville Veterans just narrowly missed at least extending that into 3 games. Ace served up that time for the Lady Bears as Muriel Murillo was able to serve up the ace. Murillo serves again. Guerra back there on the back row for the Raiders. Set it up in the middle, punched over. Middle of the net as Laisha Izagari. Set her up again, tip it over the block, right back at you, and back over as the Raiders score the point to make it 9-7. A lot of noise being made over on that right side as suddenly the Sharyland Rattlers taking the lead over the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. We've had some quiet days here in this gym, but now it's getting a little louder as the home team making some noise over there in that quarterfinal game. Back set this time for the Bears. Hernandez over there on that right side. Punched over by the Raiders. Defensively, they're as good as any team we've covered thus far this year. They'll get that one across just over the baton. Bears tip it over again and score the point. Everyone had bunched over to the right side, and then Hernandez recognizing that. Placed that just out of reach on the left. Bears to serve it up. Jump serve this time by Vivica Villarreal. Ball at the net, spiked across. Again, they're setting up Izagiri on a regular basis this rotation through. Point score for the Lady Bears. They go up 11-7. Villarreal ready to serve again. Gets that across. Raiders punch that over. Good chance here for the Bears. And in the net it goes, though. Point Rivera. Brownsville Rivera now will be serving. Lady Raiders down by 3. Our volleyball coverage will continue on Tuesday night. Be watching our social media for the announcement of which games we'll be at. Still trying to put that master schedule together on our volleyball. And we'll have that so we can have these games in advance of where we're going. Points scored by the Lady Bears. And it makes it a 12-8 game. Get off. Back here, a 12-9 game. 12-9 game. Rivera Raiders ready to serve. They'll serve it across. Guzman gets it across. Bears tip it over. Played by the Raiders. They'll keep it alive. And a point scored. And normally you don't see that with Brownsville Rivera. Back here, next serve across for the Lady Bears in game one of this series between the Rivera Raiders. A spike across, that is in the back corner, just inside on a kill by Kenya Ibarra. 13-10 game. Bears to serve, or check that, Raiders to serve. Kaylee Ramos back at the service line. Ramos gets it over. Good pass this time by Villarreal. A high set at the net, spiked over, played by the Raiders. Big hit that time by Murillo, though. They'll set it on a back set this time, tipped over by Fuentes, and a point scored for the Lady Bears. That's a luxury there of Fuentes and Murillo. Either can set up as an outside hit or both capable of rotating to the middle. In that case, Murillo first, Fuentes to finish it off. Fuentes now serves. Guerra with a pass, a back set, that's Ibarra. Tips it off the blockers and it stays in bounds. Point scored for PSJA. Lady Bears up 15-10 here in game one. They ran the table in pool play, unbeaten through the first 2 days. Jump serve across, played by the Raiders. Pass goes into the back area, and another bad pass by Brownsville Rivera results in a point. Watching this Raider team, that's not normally how we see them play. Normally we see them, their back row is as steady as any with those return of serves, keeping balls alive. Jump serve by Fuentes, diving play by Guerra to keep that in play. Free hit coming up for the Lady Bears. They'll go on the attack. Back set, though, miss hit. Point scored for Rivera. 5-point game. Lady Raiders to serve it up. Kenya Ibarra back to serve. Gets it across with a short serve. High set across the net, spiked over, and point scored for the Lady Bears. They go up 6. They were tested their first round. In pool play against Sharyland. Since then, this Bears team has rolled. They were tested last night in their final game of pool play by Brownsville veterans. Points scored by the Lady Bears, and they roll out to a 7-point lead here in game one. The winner takes on Mac High. Jenna Guajardo back at the service line. She'll get that one over. Raiders on the return of serve. Good pass this time, punched at the net though. Point scored PSJA. So the pass was there. The back set though, looking for Kimberly Chavez. She had nothing really to work with on the hit. Another serve coming up for Guajardo. Short serve. Raiders with a pass. High set in the middle. Off the back row, Guerra there to play that. Bears get it over. Free hit coming up. Guerra on the pass. A high set in the middle. Tipped over. That's out of bounds. 20-11 to score. Timeout on the floor. PSJA on top in this one. Quarterfinals continue from Sharyland after this. Now serving quality, fresh, delicious food. Treat your taste buds and enjoy the relaxing atmosphere. Join us from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, Friday and Saturday until midnight. Trevino's.
Hi, Ranger Cougars, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Back here after the timeout, and the PSJA Lady Bears comfortably up in this game one, up by 9 over the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders. Ball back over, played now by the Bears on the attack. Raiders able to recover that. High set this time, spiked past the block. Bears there to cover it. Challenge of the net back on the Raiders side. High set, they go right back in to Izagari's spot. Back at you by the Bears. Guerra there to dig that. Set it up in the middle, and a double block by the Lady Bears, and they score the point. They're making it look easy. Bears now up double digits in this game as Guajardo serves again. Short serve, Guerra with a pass. Back set this time, spiked into the net. Another point for PSJA. Emily Morales that time on the approach. Serve over by Guajardo. Diving play by Guerra just to keep that in play. Raiders on the attack from the middle. How about that diving play on the back row by Villarreal? Points scored. Both liberos into play on that one. Rivera gets the point. Substitutions in the game for the Lady Raiders. Back to the service line is Darlene Longoria. Meanwhile, Nisa Zuniga checks in on the front row. Bears on the return to serve. Set it up on a short set. Raiders set it up at the middle. Spiked over. Good dig that time back there by Talik Gomez. And a point score for the Lady Bears. They go up 11. Lady Bears now up by 11 and 2 away from capturing game 1. Murillo back at the service line. Gets that across. Raiders with a pass. Ball up at the center of the net. And a lift is going to be called. Point to PSJA. Bad passes, lifts, miss hits in the net. Those are all things that I normally have not been saying during broadcasts of Rivera games. Not saying they played perfect, but they've certainly played better than this. That's a miss hit in the net and a point score. Lady Bears controlled game 1 and win it with ease. 25-12. Game 2 coming up as we continue our coverage from the Sharyland Tournament. Quarterfinal action. Bears and Raiders after this.
Men, start the new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias, su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Trevino's Restaurant in Edinburgh, now serving quality, fresh, delicious food. Treat your taste buds and enjoy the relaxing atmosphere. Join us from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, Friday and Saturday until midnight. Trevino's.
Back here after the timeout, the Lady Raiders able to make their way over to the sideline, and they have been in an extended conversation on trying to get on target here to take on this Lady Bear team, which has just been simply rolling over teams here from this gym in most of their contests. They were tested by Sharyland and then bookend that. Sharyland was the first game in pool play. Brownsville Veterans was their final game in pool play. So bookend that by 2 challenges, but everything else has been a relatively easy wins for this Bear team. And that game 1 win, 25-12, about as lopsided score as I've seen on a Rivera team, and that includes when they hosted McAllen earlier this month in a broadcast game we brought you here on Rio Sports Live. J.R. Gully has the call on the other court. That's a good one between Sharyland and Los Fresnos. Lady Rattlers on their home court trying to extend that into game 3 of their best of 3. Raiders out onto the court. And you watch and see if this Brownsville Raider team brings out another notch or 2 higher on the competitive level in this game. Bears brought exactly what you would expect. That's just how good they've looked here in the 2 days coverage of pool play. Michelle Guerra will check into the game as a libero after they saw the rotation set up by the Lady Bears. Lady Bears will serve as Katia Cavazos back at the service line. We'll follow this quarterfinal game up with a semifinal, and then the championship game will be played out here on this gym floor. Raiders on a back set this time. Kenya Ibarra spikes it. A nice play by Villarreal on that back row. Guerra now has it. Now we got a whistle and in the net called on Brownsville Rivera. 1-0 score. Ball up high. Spiked by the Bears. It's going to be off the block and another point for PSJA. They go up 2-0. Lady Bears up early. Cavazos to serve again. Gets that across. Rotation error now called on Rivera. Cavazos will serve again. 3 points out of the gate. Another serve by Cavazos. Pass by Guerra. Ball up at the net, punched over. Bears on the attack. Tip it over. Now we got a player crashing in from the other court. That's how competitive things are over there. That's a 1-point game at 21-20. Here in this one, a reset on the serve. Cavazos back to let it go. Short serve. Guerra with a pass. Punched over. Again, as that pass is too near the net for the setter to work with. Bears on the attack. That's across the way and out of bounds it goes. Points scored for Rivera. 3-1 ball game. Back to serve for Brownsville Rivera is Laisha Izaguirre. Ball over on the Bears side. Tipped over the block, covered by the Raiders. Back row, it's Guerra. That's too short. In the net it goes. Point PSJA. Lady Bears up 4-1 here in game 2. Jump serve coming up for the Bears. Guerra on the pass. High set for Ibarra, covered, back row, right back on the Raiders side, tipped over. Bears keep that alive for a moment, nothing doing. Point scored Rivera. That all started with a hit by Kenya Ibarra. Bears were able to keep a hand on it, managed to keep the play alive for an extra hit. Emily Morales now back to serve. Good pass by Villarreal. A high set at the net. In the net it goes. Point scored Rivera. 4-3 game as a miss hit that time by Murillo. Normally she's going to put that away. Another serve coming up for Emily Morales. Played by the Bears. One-handed over, Raiders with the ball. Set it up across the way, off the block, point scored. Kenya Ibarra ties it at 4. 4-4 game here. Raiders on the attack again, find Ibarra. Over the tip off the block, set up at the middle. Raiders there to cover that. Set up Ibarra again, got it past Fuentes on that front row. Back row for the Bears, get it, play it. Raiders set up Ibarra again, had to backpedal, blocked out of bounds. That'll be a point to Rivera. And the Lady Raiders take the lead for the first time in the day. Next serve by the Raiders. Ball up high. Raiders trying to set it up, nothing doing. Bears right back over and nearly get the point. Ball back over on the PSJA side. A back set. Fuentes spikes it off the block and at the net, tips it across, scores a point. Fuentes elevated a little higher on that second leap. Able to send that down. 5-5 ball game. Back at the line is Victoria Fuentes. Guerra with a pass. Back set for Kenya Ibarra. Whistled that right through the block. Got the point for the Lady Raiders of Rivera. They go up 6-5. You kind of had that feeling that it was going to be a back and forth affair between these two teams. That's why that game one score was odd in the way it played out. Bears have been good, but this Raider team is a little better than what we saw in that game one. In the net it goes on the Bears. And a point scored to the Rivera Raiders. And they'll serve it up. Jump serve this time across. Good pass forward, middle, off the block, point scored. Murillo gets the kill. Back to serve is Guajardo. Raiders back set Kenya Ibarra. Tips it over the blockers. They'll punch that over. Raiders on the attack again. Guerra sets it up. That's Ibarra on that left side. Got the kill. Raiders up by 3. Check that, 2. 8-6 game. In the other game in the quarterfinals, Los Fresnos holds off a pesky test by the Sharyland Lady Rattlers. Wins that in 2 games to advance to the semis against Sharyland Pioneer. Here in this one, Mackay won game 1 earlier. Diving play by the Raiders to keep that ball alive. Bears right back at you again. Big swing. Guerra there to dig that. Cross the net, spike across in the back row. Punched up in the air. Nice job on that back row, that time by Gomez. Ball back on the Raiders side. A back set this time. Looking for Guzman. And off the block, point PSJA. Guzman on the kill attempt, but nothing doing. Ball back over on the Bears side. Back set this time. Raiders get it over on the angle. That goes out of bounds. They're looking for a tip on the Raiders side. Nothing doing. Out of bounds. Point to PSJA. We're tied at 8 apiece. Ball in the back. Played by the Raiders. Back set. And at the net, a challenge there. PSJA keeps it alive. Tipped over this time. Ball up high, set it up. Tipped over the blockers again. The Bears keep this one alive on a longer rally. Raiders there again, ball near the net. Somehow they keep that out. Ball back over on the Bears side. Lady Bears tip it over the left hand down the angle and got the point. Nice hit that time by Jermaine Campos. Ball over on the Bears side. Tipped over. High set across the way. Spike down the line in the corner. Waiting for the call. That's in. Point Rivera. All tied at 9 apiece. They'll substitute. Now the Rivera Raiders send Richelle Guerra back to serve. Jump serve across. Punched up in the air. That's going to be a lift call. 2 hits against PSJA, and Brownsville Rivera scores the point. Back here as the Raiders at the net. That's tipped straight down and a point for Brownsville Rivera. And they now go up 11-9. Jump serve across, right down the middle. On a back set for the Bears. That's off the block. Raiders keep that alive for a moment. Nothing doing. Bears score. 11-10 the score. Back to serve, Ivica Villarreal. Villarreal serves it over. Raiders play that from that right side, over on the Bears side. A high set in the middle, and Fuentes tried to put that away. Raiders dig it out. Ibarra from the back row. That's in. Kill Raiders. Brownsville Rivera up 12-10. 12-10 game. Raiders to serve it up. Back at the line is Guzman. Bears send it over. Spiked over, played by the Bears. Had nothing doing. Another point for Rivera. They go up by 3. 13-10 your score. Deep serve in the back row, played up by the Lady Bears. That's off the net. 13-11 game. PSJA won the first one, 25-12. Brownsville Rivera. Now leading here in game 2. Katia Cavazos back to serve. Back set this time. Punched over. Out of bounds it goes. And a point to the Lady Bears. They'll get to the semifinals in a hurry over there where JR's at. We'll get him his rosters. He's got Pioneer and Los Fresnos over there. Meanwhile, we've got a pause in the action before this next serve. 1 point game. Lady Bears to serve, and that's Katia Cavazos. Raiders set it up at the net. Back row there, Villarreal there, and then picked up by Daniela Villarreal, also back there. Set for Ibarra. That's off the block, or check that. That's not Ibarra. That's Izagiri with a kill. Score the point, Brownsville Rivera. Raiders up a couple. Laisha Izagiri back to serve. Gets it over. Bears tip that over on the left side. Played over on the Raiders side of things. Set it up with a big spike. Down it goes from the corner. That's Ibarra on the front row. Rivera now leads by 3. Timeout call by PSJA. Lady Bears won the first one. Lady Raiders controlling the lead in game 2. A close ball game continues after this.
Everyone's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2 in Harlingen. Choose from a wide selection and score big today on West Expressway 83.
Right now, how about this 2015 Chrysler 300S model with a Beat stereo, leather interior, navigation, $57,000, reduced today, $19,999. Or a 2012 Ram 1500, a Lone Star package, 5.7 Hemi engine, a towing package, automatic, $16,499. Or how about a diamond in the rough, 1998 Dodge 3500 dually with a fifth wheel, 4x4, power everything, heavy duty bumper, $14,999.
Financing is available with lending for all types. Every deal's a winner at Cano Auto Sales 2, in business since 2002, Harlingen, Texas.
Our professional advisors at Employee Retirement Service have been providing financial and retirement planning for many years for employees of different employment.
If you've spent your career in education and are ready for the next chapter, let the professionals at Employment Retirement Services help. You've worked hard, and now it's time to relax and enjoy with peace of mind and security.
Help fulfill your retirement needs. Come experience the difference with us.
And let's plan your retirement together. Call us at 956-440-8774 to schedule your appointment today.
Another point scored there by the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders, and now we wait for a team to file past them before they can get the next serve here in this game. At the line is Izagiri, gets it over. That was going out, and it's a point anyway for Rivera. That one was on the sideline, appeared to be going out of bounds. Lady Bears made a play on that, and so it became a live ball. Raiders now up by 5, serving up. Short serve across, played by the Lady Bears. Back row, this is Villarreal. Daniela Villarreal puts it over. Played by the Lady Raiders. Back row, and played, and a point scored for Rivera. Another ball borderline heading out of bounds that the Lady Bears made a play on. Lady Raiders back to serve. Short serve across. High set in the middle. Spike down and in on a point scored there. Fuentes back in the front row. 18-13 your score. Back to serve now for PSJA is Talia Gomez. Gomez gets it over. Lady Bears set it up across the way. Or Raiders, that's Ibarra, got a kill. 19-13 is Kenya Ibarra able to put it down. Emily Morales back at the line. Back set for Fuentes, and that carries just out of bounds. Rivera up 20-13. Morales back to serve. Bears with a pass, a high set on that left side, played over by the Raiders. Center set. That's going to be a lift called and a point to PSJA. 6-point game. Back to serve is Victoria Fuentes. Short serve. Good play by Guerra to keep that in play. A setup Ibarra off the block, getting a hand on that time was Murillo. And now the ball goes out. That'll be another point scored for Rivera. Lady Raiders now up 21-14. Ball back over on the Raiders side. Spiked into the net. Point PSJA. Back to serve is Guajardo. Gets it over. High back set for Ibarra. Tips it over. Nice coverage that time by the Lady Bears, as that's Gomez getting a hand on that. Ball spiked across. Still alive on the Raiders side. Bears with a good chance to score here. Center back set, right side. It's played over off the rafters. Point scored, PSJA. Lady Bears. Ball back over on the Bears side. Tipped over and a point scored for PSJA. Lady Bears, Guajardo back to serve. Meanwhile, timeout on the floor. 21-17, Rivera leads. Back after this.
We are the Edinburgh Bobcats. Thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Come see what the City of San Benito has to offer today. Business owners, visit the San Benito Chamber of Commerce and find out how they can help you be a part of the new and exciting growth the city is experiencing today. Supporting business, community, and the teams, San Benito Chamber of Commerce.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for a fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Every great dining adventure begins with one word, fresh. At the Sea Ranch, we combine a fresh, inviting...
Back here as the Rivera Raiders on top, 21-17, here in this quarterfinal action. Lady Bears serve it over. Raiders on a back set for Ibarra. Tips it over on an angle. Got the point. 22-17 the score. Now they're going to call a point for... They haven't taken the point off yet. Now they have. 21-18 as they take that away. Call in the net against Rivera. Carroll with a pass. Raiders just barely get that over, and that falls in for the point. Rivera now up 4. Kenya Ibarra back to serve. That's off the net, and that falls in for the point for Rivera's Lady Raiders. Oh. That one carries. Points scored, PSJA, 23-19 your score. Back to serve is Muriel Murillo. Murillo gets it over. Up high, spiked across. Played back by the Lady Bears, spiked across. Still alive, Raiders, and they have a ball coming.